Ladies and gentlemen, two stories to talk about. New York Post, Ohio Republicans propose state holiday honoring President Donald Trump. The Columbus Dispatch, Ohio Republicans wanted to declare June 14th President Donald J. Trump Day. Let's read that. Ohio Republicans want to declare June 14th President Donald J. Trump Day. Democrats think that negative media coverage or 20-30 impeachments on things that they could never convict him of in a court of law. So the mayor of D.C. and the attorney general of D.C. have not leveled any charges, nor will they ever level charges against President Trump for the tragedy that took place. He's protected under the First Amendment. Political speech is protected. He did not tell anyone to do anything. That's a fact. He also didn't force another President Zelensky in Ukraine to investigate Biden. So that was another. They got him on. They impeached him on an ellipsis. They have not impeached him on anything to do with breaking a law. So the first impeachment, you saw what we had Michael Cohen's testimony prior, which is worthless, which will lead to nothing. Just like the emoluments clause that were the emoluments clause case was kicked out of the Supreme Court, and the Southern District case based on Michael Cohen's testimony. His testimony wasn't even used for the first impeachment. Just like the Mueller probe wasn't even used, just like nobody could find anything from obstruction of justice, which was hilarious, to the absurd notion that Trump worked with Russia to buy Facebook ads. Democrats legitimize their tinfoil hat theories. And then they're the ones who utilize dossiers. They purchased a dossier, literally, against Trump because they had nothing. And then they say, oh my God, he's breaking rules and norms and traditions. So this impeachment, last impeachment, they can impeach him 30 times from here until 2024, 2022. It won't matter. Ohio Republicans want to declare June 14th President Donald Trump J. Trump Day. Why? You have the Abraham Accords. President Trump presided over peace between Israel, UAE, Bahrain, Morocco. He was the first president to step foot in North Korea to begin détente between North and South Korea. President Moon Jae-in stated Trump deserved the Nobel Peace Prize. He did a lot better in terms of foreign policy. He left the world a much better place than President Obama left the world. That's a fact. President Obama presided over failed NATO intervention. If you ask the average liberal Democrat, he'll say, oh my God, climate change. President Obama didn't do anything to combat climate change. Like, virtually nothing. Virtually nothing. And they have these buzzwords floating around in their oftentimes warped minds. If you just say climate change, all is forgiven. But they're not going to ever vacation in Tripoli. Why? Because President Obama turned that country into a failed state under the guise of saving people's lives. The sorrow and the chaos and the civil unrest and the wars and everything that took place in the past decade, they've never had a moment of peace because of President Obama. So yeah, Trump deserves a day in his honor, especially in terms of foreign policy. Removing Americans from regions of the world President Obama sent them to, ending America's longest-running military conflict. These are all things that President Trump did. Paving the way for Americans to be brought home from never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts, which is what everybody from Tucker Carlson to the far left apparently wants. So what's the problem? That's right. Good, morally superior liberals don't care. That's the issue. They can't understand why anyone would vote for President Trump or want to have a day in his honor, because the achievements that President Trump his accomplishments don't resonate to Democrats. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. We're back on our way to 200,000 subscribers. But we're back on our way to 200,000 subscribers. If you want to support my voice long term, my Patreon is below. Ladies and gentlemen, a pair of Ohio representatives want to make June 14th a day to honor former President Donald Trump. Why? Because he was able to accomplish a great many wonderful things. He allocated more funding to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever. That is a fact. He did better among the non-white voting demographics this election than he did the last election. That's what Democrats and media calling him racist every 2 seconds. So how does that work? Well, because people understand that he did accomplish a great deal. the spin around President Trump does not correlate with his accomplishments, which are plentiful. We had record low unemployment for most of his tenure. What took place, okay, the pandemic was not Trump's fault, and in the beginning of March, Cuomo of New York stated the risk remains low for the people of New York. This is Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo, and the tweet's still up, and there's no need for undue anxiety. His state became the epicenter, unfortunately. God bless the people of New York and New Jersey. Those states became the epicenter of the pandemic. How do Democrats circumvent responsibility for their role? You have the top 12 states in terms of unemployment are all run by Democrats. Go to the Bureau of Labor statistics. You can see. You go to the New York Times statistics. You can see the highest per capita rates are all in Democratic-run states. Last I checked, it was like 8 of the top 12. And 7 of the top 10 had the highest aggregate numbers of lives lost. So we'll get to Elizabeth Warren going after Reddit, which is what I was fearing. And we'll get to that in a second. To the Redditors and to the people who really showed hedge funds that the average Joe can almost tank them or get them close to, force them to get bailed out by other hedge funds. What they did was amazing. I mean, what Wall Street, the Wall Street subreddit did, and the average investor did is unprecedented. I'll get to that in a second, and it's actually unprecedented, I think, in world history. There are things that need to be. They need to watch themselves, because now Democrats will pretend to be on the side of the little guy and still find ways to go after Reddit and Redditors. I'll read this right now. Elizabeth Warren demands SEC response to GameStop frenzy after it vows to protect retail traders from manipulative activity. So I told you, and I didn't want to be right about this at all, because I guess we'll switch. They want a holiday for President Trump, which is absolutely fantastic. I'll put the link below. And he deserves a holiday. Well, does President Trump deserves honors, and he deserves recognition every day. A holiday, I'm not 100% sure, but Ohio, June 14th, President Donald Trump. Why not? Why not? A pair of Ohio. You know what? Actually, he deserves a holiday. I take that back. Why? Because it would just be so. It would be poetic justice for everything they leveled against Trump supporters. 92% negative media coverage should lead to a holiday for President Donald Trump. And 60% of Americans view mainstream media, or just, the New York Times, Washington Post, as pushing an ideological agenda or viewpoint, which is pretty much the case. But here, I want to read you, that's a Forbes article, but there's another article here in the Washington Examiner. And Elizabeth Warren protects Robinhood and hedge funds from the Redditors, by Tiana Lowe, January 29, 2021. So what Redditors did was pretty amazing. What they did was they were able to show the world that hedge funds and multi-billion-dollar investment firms aren't the only ones who can make waves in the market. For a long, long time, it was just the top brokerage firms or the top hedge funds that would influence stock price. And they made a great deal of money influencing the price of stocks, and they made a great deal of money from volatility. They made a great deal of money from events that took place that the average American did not benefit from. You see Dianne Feinstein, Kelly Loeffler, Richard Burr. There's another Republican that they sold stocks right before the pandemic. Okay, how did they know? Okay. Did they get even fined? No. I want to read you this. Elizabeth Warren protects Robinhood and hedge funds from the Redditors. Robinhood took revenge on the Redditors, driving up GameStop's market cap to protect hedge funds, paying them, and the internet is livid. The SEC is currently investigating why exactly the cryptocurrency and stock trading app froze purchases of GameStop shares while allowing users to sell it, and politicians ranging from socialist AOC to Trumpian Ted Cruz have lambasted the move. Supposed populist of the Senate, Elizabeth Warren, is also concerned, but not with the multi-billion-dollar company that seemingly rigged the stock market to protect their buddies at hedge funds. No, instead, Warren is ready to wage war on the retail traders who had the audacity to beat billionaires at their own game. Casino-like swings in stock prices of GameStop. See, the hilarious thing is that the casino-like... I'll explain the pitfalls. I mean, I didn't want to be... I didn't want this to happen. So I put my... Whether you're part of the GameStop rally and you can't stand Trump or you like Trump, I'm taking my partisan hat off. This has nothing to do with partisanship now. I want you to make money even if you voted for Biden or Clinton or whatever. I don't want you to lose money. If you don't like me, to my Twitter impersonator who is breaking the law, because I don't have Twitter, I haven't had Twitter for 2 years, I don't want that person to lose money. I don't want anyone to lose money. So I'm taking my partisan hat off for a second. When Elizabeth Warren says casino-like swings in stock prices of GameStop reflect wild levels of speculation that don't help GameStop's workers or customers, actually, it does help GameStop workers and customers. So that's wrong right there. It helps them for a number of reasons and could lead to market instability. Well, that's what they're addressing is the market instability. They're showing hedge funds and other billion-dollar investment firms, brokerage firms, that everyday Americans can do exactly what they're doing. There are pitfalls, and one of the pitfalls is Elizabeth Warren asking the SEC to crack down on this. Who do you think the SEC is going to go after, Robinhood or Reddit? Today I told the SEC to explain what exactly it's doing to prevent market manipulation. That is translation. I told the SEC that if they have to go after Reddit or individual Redditors, that go ahead. See, Dianne Feinstein she's on the Senate Banking Committee, Warren, but Feinstein can't talk about this. You have Democrats who have been mired in stock trades and scandals of their own. So you have Elizabeth Warren, who's a phony populist, who's using the SEC to find out what happened. She knows what happened. Reddit, they were shorting GameStop. All of these hedge funds were betting against it just to tank the price so they could make money. GameStop made them, forced them to jump in and cover their bets, cover their shorts. Okay. I explain this. We'll get to the pitfalls in a second, because there are pitfalls. The time and money is on the side of these hedge funds, unfortunately. So that's what Wall Street Reddit has to understand. Also, the SEC is now involved. I've been warning about this for a while. I don't want this to happen. Because you have a lot of really good idealistic people who really stuck it to the man. That's true. What they did was amazing, but the thing is, the retribution is legal. See, what Wall Street Reddit should understand is, it's true, they did something paradigm changing. No doubt. No doubt they did something that's, I think in world history, you can go from the tulip craze to today. I don't know, has there ever been a time that this took place? Probably not. I don't think there's ever been a time that this type of thing took place, because there's never been an ability to harness so many people in one location, or so many average people, to specifically reverse what market titans wanted to take place. But the money and the time is on the side of the hedge funds. They can always cover, so like the hedge fund that got bailed out, they said there's always enough capital and money there for them to bail out their friends, or for the government to bail them out, just like we saw in '08. But now you have the SEC involved. The SEC is never going to go after Robinhood or the other, or the hedge fund. In this case, they're going to say, okay, who manipulated the market? And it's not really it's not legally market manipulation unless they can prove that it's like some kind of concerted effort to manipulate, which perhaps they can prove. Well, whatever. I don't think that it would be a politically devastating move for Democrats, but all that has to take all and Republicans, but all that needs to happen are hit pieces of. We're talking about people losing money. See, they haven't put the public relations squeeze yet. So the people involved in what Reddit did, which is amazing, are being championed now. Once the press turns on them, and I hope the press doesn't, but if the press does, you already have Warren calling for the SEC to get involved. Once the SEC gets involved, who do you think they're going to side with? The average investor or the billionaire hedge fund company, or the $1 billion hedge fund company that got tanked? And who's bringing the SEC? I've been saying the past couple of days, you know what? Democrats are going to team with the SEC, and we see it right now with Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren knows what she's doing. She doesn't care, by the way, like if this pretty profound philosophical message has been sent to Wall Street. What she doesn't like is the market swing, and she is now going to inadvertently potentially hurt the Redditors. But here, in a letter to the SEC, Warren warns of the gamesmanship of the stock surge interferences with the function of the market. Although she calls on the SEC to investigate whether either Redditors or the hedge funds broke existing securities laws, she names the sharp rise in GameStop's share price as the problem, making it clear who her real target is. She's going after Reddit, and I didn't want this to happen. I didn't want this to happen. I said that it could happen because I know the way Democrats think. And Republicans also could have gotten involved as well. The Richard Burrs of the world, but yeah, he sold stock before the pandemic. So you have the populists within the populists within the Republican Party are far more aligned with the Redditors than the populists within the Democratic Party, who want government to crack down on everything from free speech to the Second Amendment to Wall Street on Reddit. So here, as President Biden would say, this is malarkey. The Redditors did nothing wrong. I don't think the Redditors did anything wrong either. See, this is the thing. The Redditors did nothing wrong. They were more effective in a short period of time than even the hedge funds. That's a giant target that the SEC and the government sees. So, and then the government can side with Robinhood, saying, well, look, the market manipulation, caused these inefficiencies, and the Redditors did nothing wrong. Shorting can be a valuable way to correct market caps to reflect the company's real value, but the hedge funds had taken a short position far beyond anything they could justify in the market. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing they pointed out. They shorted the heck out of GameStop. And the Redditors then said, well, you know what, if you're going to do that, we're going to make you buy in, and you're going to lose for engaging in that type of behavior. They gambled that they could suppress the share price and reap a profit. The Redditors took advantage of this, ruining their plan with a completely legal campaign to buy stock and force them to cover their short positions. Robinhood, a favorite app among active retail investors in the stock market, responded to this by saying, cheating the game by cheating the game with a Thursday stock price purchase freeze. Okay. CNBC's Andrew Ross Sarkin said they did so to protect investors. Okay, so perhaps the rulers of Robinhood are so arrogant that Robinhood, that company's pretty much done. But guess who's coming to the rescue of Robinhood and the hedge funds? One of the hedge funds that almost tanked. It's Elizabeth Warren. See, the populists on the left are not really populists. They complain a lot and they're very loud, but at the end of the day, they worship state power. Of course, you need the government to regulate. That's true. But in this case, they're going to take regulation and use it against the Redditors that taught a lesson to, the robber barons in Wall Street, today's robber barons. I mean, please be careful to people on Reddit. And like I said, Reddit, in 2016, I was not very popular there. Just because my articles would go viral, and there are a lot of people like, oh my God, he's writing the Huffington Post again, and the Huffington Post salon. I had a Reddit AMA. It was hilarious. I'm like, yeah, Clinton's going to lose. And everybody was like, snark. But it's still a place where there's a lot of good people, really wonderful people. The Wall Street Reddit showed the market that the average Joe could fight back. They did so legally. Elizabeth Warren now wants to... what did I say a couple days ago? I said the Democrats are going to team with the SEC. That's what Democrats you have a street gang that owns a block of the city, or a couple blocks, or an area, or a neighborhood. The Democrats, their gang, their crew is government. So you just took what Reddit Wall Street did was went into their domain and took over the place for a second, for a day or a week or a month. Now it's like Empire Strikes Back. So be careful. The people on Reddit, be careful. Please. God bless you. You have the wonderful Elizabeth Warren now asking the SEC to investigate. Who do you think the SEC is going to investigate, Robinhood or Reddit? Give me your thoughts below. I'll be back numerous times. Thank you.